اللهم صل على المصطفى حبيبنا محمد عليه السلام. اللهم give my all and everything. Allahumma salli ala al-Mustafa. على المصطفى حبيبنا محمد عليه سلام. ولا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. حبيب الله اللهم صل على المصطفى حبيبنا محمد عليه السلام. اللهم صل على المصطفى حبيبنا محمد. We can never match him, but we try our best and give our all. I give my all and everything. Allahumma salli ala al-Mustafa Habibna Muhammad alayhi salam. اللهم صل على مصطفى حبيبنا محمد عليه السلام.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is another Saturday, the 18th of January 2025. It is exactly 14 minutes past 9 o'clock. My name is Kelly Ramazani. I'm not alone in studio. I'm joined by two gentlemen. Asif is the tech on duty, so shout out to him. But I've also got a guest here whom we will be talking to very soon. And for today, we've got exciting topics. I know, like I said last week, you've been asking for the fireworks, you've been asking for the controversy, and I said, hey, you know you're speaking to the right person. My name is Kelly Ramazani, and this is Career Compass, the ultimate guide to navigating the world of careers. Here we unpack side hustles, careers that are in demand locally and globally. We talk about soft skills and careers that do not require a degree. We talk about side hustles. We talk about almost everything that is career orientated, but also that promotes self-development, wanting to save you from starting an irrelevant career, but more importantly, wanting to make you an impactful member of society. You are on 90.4 FM if you just tuned in. If you are in Durban, 105.6 FM. If you are in PMB and anywhere else worldwide on www.alansar.org.za. It is Radio Alansar, and I do this every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. You might be thinking, Kelly, you're a bit hesitant. It's because my voice control on my headset or my mic, something is just not balancing. So it's distracting me as I'm speaking. But nevertheless, the show must go on. So like I said, I will be joined by Dr. Yasser SACOOR, who will be talking to us about cosmetic surgery. Drum roll, please. Cosmetic surgery, it is a booming industry worth hundreds of billions. But not just that, it has an impact on us physically, mentally, emotionally. And you might be saying, us? I don't do that. I don't support that. I don't encourage that. Well, maybe you, but the world is doing this. And as Muslims, most of the times we shy away from such topics. We shy away from such topics because we believe that it doesn't concern us. We shouldn't pay attention to it, but it's happening around us. The only way that we can be mindful of the decisions that we make is when we are informed. So it's my duty to empower you with information. And that is exactly what we will be doing here. I got a message last week that asked about career options for a intellectually challenged person, and I went through this rabbit hole, and it's such fascinating information that I've got. I will answer that shortly. Also, TikTok is banned in USA. Well, we really don't know right now what is the way forward, because we're getting the yes, the no, the maybes, and the all in betweens. We'll talk about that and so much more. Your Saturday mornings are about to get better, so brace yourself. This is Career Compass. You are in safe hands.
Yeah. You are the one that lightens the load. I always lean on you when life is spinning out of control. I leave my trust in you. He don't need me to worship, but I feel so out of place if I haven't honored my Lord at least 5 times a day. In the name of Allah, I will worship. In the name of Allah, we are free. Now I finally know my purpose. That's all you ask of me. My Allah is here with me. With the last words I breathe. River to the ocean, could never turn back. I traveled a lifetime back, but the world was out of focus. But he brought me back. I pray I stay on track. He don't need me to worship, but I feel so out of place if I haven't honored my Lord at least 5 times a day.
Into Career Compass on Radio Al-Ansar.
In the name of Allah, we are free. Now I finally know my purpose. That's all you ask of me.
Career Compass with Kelly Ramazani.
With the last words I breathe.
If you know me, you know very well that I'm a Safe Adam girly. I love Safe Adam. So all you ask of me by Safe Adam, absolutely beautiful. Nasheed there. We got more coming your way. You are definitely in for a good vibe. And now, speaking about good vibes, soft skills that we are going to choose for this week. Last week, we spoke about self-motivation, the ability for you to be able to find the strength, the courage to carry and complete a task on your own without external factors or motivation or anything of that sort, and how important it is, especially in this life where we are being overstimulated with information left, right, center. So one might never know what is wrong or what is right. And that's why I always ask you, if you can, sit on your own, discover you, do the self-assessment check. Who are you? What makes you happy? What do you love? And it's okay to be different. It's okay to go on a different right, on a different beat. Yasser is there helping me. Okay, Yasser, you're definitely gonna have to be a co-host right now. So, for self-motivation, I know I'm gonna ask you this when we do our interview, especially with you having to put up with the years that are required to graduate, medicine in the medicine field. I'm sure sometimes you felt that burnt out, that lack of motivation, but there was something that kept you going. What was it?
Definitely. So, including myself and my colleagues, especially during medical school, because it's quite a arduous journey. 6 years. You finish matric. I finished in 2014, and you immediately went into medical school in 2015 up until 2020. So 6 years is quite an arduous journey, and you feel the pressure when you see your friends and your colleagues that they're outside, they're partying, they finished their degree, they're enjoying themselves, and you're still within the academic sector. And even afterwards, working long hours, 260 hours a month. Oftentimes I'd work 80 to 100 hours a week.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge, and it's not only me. It's even my my juniors in internship and community service at this moment in time. Probably some people that are listening to the show whilst doing their shifts at this moment. It's more to realize what you did it for. You entered into this field to help people, to give back to society, and also progress as a person.
It's okay. You can tell us the truth. Tell us the truth.
Oh no! So as I said, it's important to know that, listen, what you're doing it for.
Money was also a motivating factor, right?
Money is not a big thing in medicine. Trust me. If you want to make money, you can make money in various different avenues. Working this hard for something where there's minimal reward for the work that you're doing, it's not. If that's your main motivation, I wouldn't suggest that you go into the field.
Okay. Well, we are going to save Yasser's advice when he's going to suggest whether you're going to join the field or not based on whatever motivating factor you have later. For now, I want to ask you, Yasser, resilience, what role does it play in the field of medicine?
I wouldn't say specifically in the field of medicine. I would say also in life as well, because in life you have challenges. Everybody goes through their own ups and downs emotionally, psychologically, and things like that. So resilience is something that you can put forward to your life. And it's just a matter of realizing that, listen, nobody cares about you besides yourself, your parents, your family. It's about, taking ownership for yourself. And times are going to be tough for everybody. Everybody goes through their own silent challenges. Some people wear their hearts on their sleeves, and other people wear their hearts inside. They don't show like the challenges that they have. And then only like in a couple of years, you'll realize, oh, something bad happened to this guy. Oh, he was actually going through a lot, or she was actually going through a lot, but nobody ever took the time to find out what's the issue, what's bugging them, So it's just a matter of being responsible for yourself, realizing that you're not alone in this journey. There's always people with you. And sometimes you're going to have to do things yourself, and sometimes you will have that support, but not everybody has that support in life. So that's the unfortunate situation.
I think from now on, after answering this question, you should consider radio. Maybe you're in the wrong field.
maybe.
But maybe you can have that on the side as your side hustle or something like that. Resilience is the soft skill that we are picking for this week. And like Yasser said, absolutely beautiful words there. It's the ability for you to recover quickly from setbacks, because life, as you know, it is unpredictable. There will always be obstacles. There will always be barriers. You have to have the ability to keep going. You have to have the ability to face your challenge. And that is the soft skill that we are picking for this week. But like Yasser said, it's not just in your workforce or your workplace. It is one thing that is required in life in general. It will help you to, cope with stress. It will help you to be calm when your manager is yelling. Something you really need. And also it encourages problem solving. We need to learn. We spoke about conflict resolution skills in the previous Saturdays, and having the ability to be resilient will allow you to also be good at problem solving, because you have an end goal that you're focusing on. So whatever you're facing at the moment is not going to stop you. And that is the soft skill that we are talking about this week. Now, moving forward, before we do our interview with Yasser, whom I do not want to keep long because he's a doctor. He's saving the world. He's saving South Africa right now. He's in high demand, right?
Hopefully. But yes.
All right, now I'm going to answer a question that came in last week. Before I answer the question, I want to ask you a question. Last week, we spoke about a side hustle that is important, and I said translator or translating, because in South Africa, we have a diversity of languages, and also in many other countries around the world that speak multiple languages, you can actually use that as a side hustle. Now, for those that are wondering what is the side hustle for this week, the question is actually aimed to you, because I have given you a list of so many side hustles. We've spoken about photography, we've spoken about videography, we've spoken about makeup artists, we've spoken about yeah, what else did I say? I said a lot. I even lost count. But we spoke about even events management. We spoke about so many things that you can do: cooking, cleaning, ironing. You can do these things if you enjoy it, based on your availability and your convenience, and you can make a living out of it. You don't have to quit your job. You can just have it as a form of extra income. Okay. So the question I'm asking you today is, what side hustle do you guarantee or you'd suggest? Okay, I'm not going to hold you against it in case you suggest something that is not going to bring us any funds. Nevertheless, we will still take it. We appreciate your feedback. So 060-904-1056. What side hustle would you like to share today with the people? You let me know. Now, moving forward, I'm answering a question that was asked to us last week here on the show. I'm going back to the question. Hopefully I find it right here. Correct. I've got it. All right. So a message came in saying, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sister Kelly, my grandson finished his school career. Now, his accreditation certificate God, English, it does that every time I'm on air. But you already know I'm not English speaking, so bear with me. Prevocational, okay? LSEN. All right, as he was in school for the intellectually impaired. Now, career-wise, I'm not sure about what he can choose. What is the way forward for him to obtain a matric certificate? Please do help me to guide him. Now, this message came from a caring, darling grandmother who wants to know what's the way forward for his son. Mind you, I need to put this disclaimer out. I am not a career advisor, but because I do a career show, I found myself in this situation over and over again, where I'm speaking to students, I'm speaking to even people that are employed. What do you think I can do? What do you think works? What is there? What is in demand? And this is why we have this show. Now, it's very important for us to first understand that many public figures, many people in our art industries, in science and politics and all, they all have special needs. So it's not an odd thing. It's not something to be ashamed of or shun somebody. Okay. It's normal. And with the advancement of technology right now, it is so great. You can become anything because learning has become so easy, right? Right. So the first thing is to always do self-assessment. For the grandmother, you need to do a self-assessment on your grandson. What does he like? What makes him happy? And I say a self-assessment is needed. And the number one important thing when we are trying to find a career or when we are trying to head towards our careers, because we already dedicate hours of our day, of our lives to work. It doesn't matter what work you're going to do, you're going to spend hours there. That's already hard enough. Okay. So you want to at least spend hours doing something that you love. Because imagine dedicating 8 hours. Dr. Yasser here is dedicating 12 hours. Oh my God. 12 hours of his life and doing something that you don't love. What a nightmare. So the first thing is to do a self-assessment, find out what your grandson loves, what is he good at, what makes him happy. And that is where the talent lies. That is where you need to find that skill or talent and enhance it. It's as easy as that. But majority of the special needs kids or even adults, they are so talented at paying attention to details. And they will not finish a task until everything has been thoroughly checked and put in place. That is such a magnificent thing, because I seriously suffer from repetition or doing a task so, to the T because I want to move on fast. Let's go on to something else. So some careers that I would recommend or I would suggest at this point would be things like data entry, specialists, because you're always paying attention to details, to structure, and also it's a predictable routine. You don't want to give them something that is unpredictable. They might panic. Okay, you want to give them a field that is predictable, a field that will require them to be flexible, but also suitable for their aspects and interest, expertise and interest. And also, another thing would be graphic designer. That is also rewarding money-wise, right?
I'm not exactly sure, but in terms of creativity and flair, like, and expressing themselves, I believe that it will be of value and also provide like them with
you're smart, eh?
Comfort.
Because I was actually putting you on the spot. I was waiting for you to, but you didn't. Well done.
Thanks.
That is right. Also, if you want to do things like arts, that kind of thing, it really makes them feel alive and makes them feel happy. And there's so much that we could talk and share about. If you do want to take down my number, if you want to text me, I can definitely get back to you. We're now going to go for a quick break because, wow, I need to take a breather. But anyways, I do this for a living, so it's fine to talk for a living. Anyways, up next is our interview with Dr. Yasser, where we talk about all things cosmetics. We are about to keep it 100% real. You do not want to miss this. Career Compass with Kelly Ramazani.
This and only this is Nightline. Nightline is the only program that allows you to listen to the opportunity to voice your opinion on any matter or any topic that concerns you. Also on Nightline, we interview the famous, the not so famous, and infamous. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Brother Muhammad Variawa, and with me in the studio is Dr. Anwar Jiwa. Join us every Saturday night from 8:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. on Nightline, the program designed especially for you, the listener.
You spent all that time, effort, and energy putting together an incredible business. Now, you need to tell people about your business. Advertising and marketing, it's what we do. Listen to this.
Absolutely amazing. It's been my first experience working with a radio station. So you don't actually know what to expect. And you also feel like, you're just going to be a number. But at Radio Al Ansar, I was just not a number. I think the support that we've got has been amazing. You guys have been absolutely amazing. You guys have opened doors for us that a couple of months ago, I wouldn't have thought possible. I think the support for me has been the greatest. It's so widespread because you guys are on YouTube Live, Facebook Live. It's not just radio based. We've got people in Johannesburg listening to you guys. So it's so widespread. We're getting that marketing.
Get in touch with our sales department on 031 208 1601. Speak directly to your target audience.
Get ready for Green Thumbs Up, the gardening and natural living show you didn't know you needed. I'm your host and life coach, Rabia Carvalho, and we're talking birds, bees, butterflies, and blooms, growing food in garden rooms, home-based holistic healing, and much more. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or nature lover, plant assassin, or permaculture professional, we got you. We got you. Let us bring you the ideas, the facts, support, and inspiration to go green wherever you are. Sundays 9 to 10 a.m. only on Radio Al Ansar.
Radio Al Ansar. I wanna wait up here. Someone help me carry this load. I don't wanna walk with fear no more.
I will never leave my prayer. I know that you're always there. For every door that you close, you'll guide me to many more.
So many ways you show me your love. I'm thankful for all that you've done.
Alhamdulillah, for all that I have, for all that I lose, it still leads to you.
For the nights that I'm down, you're all I need now. My face meets the ground.
For all that I have, for all that I lose, you still pull me through.
For the night that I'm down, you're all I need now. Alhamdulillah. على كل حال.
So many ways you show me your love.
I'm thankful for all that you've done. Alhamdulillah.
For all that I lose. Oh man, what a beautiful nasheed. That is Sid featuring featuring Saif Adam. Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything. Whatever we have, whatever we lose, it still brings us back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In a feel good nasheed, I feel absolutely amazing right now. And I hope I'm sharing that contagious vibes with you through the airwaves. It is 90.4 FM. If you are in Durban, 105.6 FM. If you're in PMB, my name is Kelly Ramazani. I'm in studio with Dr. Yasir as well as Asif. And we are talking all things cosmetic surgery. Before we do that, I just want to quickly tell you that TikTok ban is not making sense to me right now. Okay. I absolutely do not understand the reasoning behind the passing of this law that we need to protect our, confidential information, our security from the threats of the Chinese. Are we serious? Are we serious? Because we all know this is money related. We've got the giant tech companies, that are putting their money where their mouth is, saying that we need to buy this platform. Why do they need to buy the platform? That's the question. Apparently, TikTok is, a Chinese spy, and it's collecting all the data and information of the Americans and America out of all countries in the world. But anyways, we get that. And what people have done, the TikTokers, especially in the US, about 170 million users, okay, half a million users have protested by downloading a Chinese-owned app, which you have probably heard of if you're on TikTok right now, Red Note or the Little Red Book. And that is where everybody is going to show their demonstration, to protest actually, to their government that, hey, you're warning us about the Chinese. We're actually willingly giving our data to them right now. We are signing up to them. And guess who is behind this massive protest? Who else than the coolest generation to ever exist? Gen Z, thank you so much. I feel very honored right now. Thank you. Give me my Oscar. All right. So, if you know, censorship is a big concern on social media. And the one thing that many US owners like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg actually pride themselves off is free speech. We allow people to say whatever they want until they are protesting against the Palestinian genocide. Then there's no free speech there because you will be censored. However, Mark Zuckerberg has removed from Facebook and Instagram the fact checking. Do you know how crazy that is? We should prepare ourselves for the flooding of fake news. That is all I wanted to bring to your attention today. That fake news is about to rain on social media. But I really pray that we will definitely get a much clearer way forward for TikTok ban, especially because I love it. I love it. Of course, everything with moderation. Don't come at me. Right now, we are finally going to speak to Dr. Yasir. Hello, Dr. Yasir, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Kelly. Hi to the listeners as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me as well once again.
Absolute pleasure. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, we are jumping right into it. First things first, what motivated you to pursue a career in medicine?
Thanks for the question. I just want to say something before. I said it offhand, but being on radio, this is now the second time I've been on radio. I didn't realize the hard work you guys do backstage, and you're more like a producer in that sense. And I really think I really want to congratulate you guys. from the consumer perspective, when you're listening on the radio, you don't really see what's happening and, the backstage. So it really gives you perspective as to what everything like goes behind stage to actually entertain us and keep us informed.
Yeah.
So I really think you guys should deserve a raise.
Thank you. You know what? You should repeat that one more time. I think my station manager is listening right now. Yeah. You were saying something about hard work and deserving a reward in the form of a raise, you said?
Raise, a pat on the back,
Come on now. You started on a good tone. Now you like pat on the back. Come on. But thank you so much for that. Yeah, you are right. Like any other work out there, I think there's so much that goes into it, but because we don't really get the time to be exposed to behind the scenes, like you said, we really don't know how much of work it takes. Like right now with my
preparation,
and preparations, I'm actually the producer of the show as well as the host, so that is double the work, and I have to double check all the information that I say because I could be sued.
But this is also not Facebook or Instagram, you have to fact check.
That's the thing. So with your career as a doctor, I know it can be stressful due to the long hours, but the patients behind the scene, can you walk us through that? We already value y'all in society. We do value and appreciate doctors a lot. But now, should we value them even more, or walk us through the behind the scene and the life of a doctor?
So prior to actually being a doctor, I didn't realize the stress and the actual mental fortitude you need to do it, especially within the sector. Everybody looks, they see a doctor sitting in private, already as a specialist, whatever, and you have the utmost respect for them, but you don't realize the journey that they have to go through, especially within the government sector, where staff, including myself and my colleagues, we overworked as well as, understaffed. So I would enter shifts, like I'll give you an example. In 2023, I was based in Sierras, which is in the Western Cape. It's actually a place where you get a lot of our cherries and plums and like peaches and things within South Africa. So I would start basically at 7:30 in casualty or the EC setting. And oftentimes there'd be an overflow of patients from the previous night. So there'd be the doctor on call. It'd be myself maybe or one of my colleagues, and they would basically be working from 7:30 the previous day. So let's say if I was on call, let's say today is a Saturday, or let's say yesterday, Friday. So I'd come to work, I'd basically make my breakfast, make my food for the day, read salah, do all that stuff there, come to work at 7:30. On 7:30, I'll have to present to casualty, which is the emergency setting, and we'd basically have to deal with whatever medical emergencies, trauma, any referrals to the hospital. So our hospital in Sierras was a catchment area or drainage area for all the patients within a 90-kilometer radius. So it was a rural hospital, but it was serving a population of 700,000.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and remember, this is 700,000 that are legally there. Oftentimes in these rural areas, you have whatever. But so come to work at 7:30, and now you're dealing with fireworks, you're dealing with flames. You have patients that are stabbed the previous night. You have people that, mothers that were pregnant and now they're bleeding, they're going through miscarriages. You basically have to deal with the works. I've dealt with patients that, were stabbed in their heart, stabbed basically a couple which had an affair, and then the boyfriend basically took a brick and smashed it on the husband's, and then you had to suture the patient's brain and head and skull and things, you had to go through the worst. So basically you'd work up until let's say 2:30. Then 2:30 they'll have something called pre-call. So because now the seniors and management know that your call is going to be flames for the night, you're going to be stressed, you're not going to have a wink of sleep the entire night. They basically give you 90 minutes where you can go home, you can bath, change, pack your food for the call and prepare. Then at 3:45 you come back to casualty, you come back to work, and you do something called handover. So the people that are on casualty, they will just hand over the instructions, what's happening, whether the patient's going to be referred to Tygerberg, whether a patient's going to be discharged, whether a patient needs blood gases, depending on what condition the patient comes in. And then from 4:30 to 12 o'clock, you are graphing, you are grinding, you are basically going on 180 kilometers an hour, everything. You're going to the wards to worry about resources, to counsel patients patients' families who have passed away, to answer queries. You are going to maternity if there's a patient that's seizing, has preeclampsia, if there's any referrals that you have to do, if there's any abortions that are coming in, as well as it's you and your colleague basically, because it's a weekend call now, that's pushing casualty. And on the weekends, South Africa turns into a different beast, a different animal. Like, if you want to know why the alcohol ban was implemented during COVID, you just go to a casualty, any casualty on a weekend, and then you'll realize what's the dangers of alcohol. And it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
So then come 12 o'clock, because now in these hospitals, so the hospital that I was working at, it had 110 beds.
Yeah.
But oftentimes there'd be patient admitted into casualty where they wouldn't have beds for them. So you'll have like 50 to 60 patients that will just be sitting on chairs, managing their meningitis and managing their pneumonias and managing everything basically in casualty. So the actual bed count was 160 beds. But now because they don't have beds for them in the ward, they're sitting in casualty. It's not really the best thing. Like, it's not. But anyway, that's the circumstances. So from 12 o'clock, we expected as the casualty doctors for that night to see every patient, those 60 patients, for the day, to relieve the day team that's coming. Because when the day team comes the next day, they have to see all the ward patients and casualty.
So is there a moment where you can just say, okay, I think I'm overwhelmed right now, I need a break?
Definitely. You overwhelmed. Like, I wouldn't wish those calls on my worst enemy. You don't get paid enough. You don't get the amount of stress you go through those calls. Like, it's the lack of support, it's the lack of staff, the lack of resources. Now, don't get me wrong, like the nurses, everybody that's there, they're all helpful and things, but it's a trend amongst the lack of staff. And it's a sad thing, but that's where, as you said before, that's where the soft skill of resilience comes in. That, listen, the buck stops at you. When you come to the hospital, you don't know, you don't have perspective as, listen, the doctor has to do so much, the doctor has to do this, the doctor has to do that, especially within the government sector. Okay, you think, okay, why is the doctor not seeing me?
Like,
it's not about attitude. It's also like, why is the doctor not seeing me? Why is my wait so long? Why is this? Why is that? Like, I'd have patients that would sit into casualty for like 24 hours and not be seen, because you'd have times and everything. And it's a sad thing that, listen, you're coming there, it's the only means for you to get care, but
there's a delay.
Yes, now that's circumstances beyond our control, but it's not easy. But that's how it is now.
Oof, what a hectic behind the scene. Now I'm more concerned about doctors. I feel like you guys need the
mental health as well is a big thing. Like, so I'm fine, but there's a lot of people when they come into internship, when they come into community service, even sitting as MOs, they have like mental breakdowns and things like that. Because it's not easy. Like, everybody thinks that, okay, listen, there's money behind it, there's glamour, there's respect, there's things like that. But when you have the behind the scenes things, like hospitals that I've worked at, Edendale or Hadigwala Hospital, my seniors, I've had very good seniors. I'm just going to give him a word of a shout out, Dr. Salim Hafaji, obs and gynae specialist, one of the best specialists, but he's in public. Like, Taka there was my mentor, and he's still my mentor now. And he like guided me and things through all of this. Like, you feel it a lot, especially with this new batch of people coming in during internship. It's quite stressful, trust me.
So you are young, and maybe there's another person listening right now that is still young and they want to go into this hectic field. Based on your experience, how do you balance your work-life balance? How do you handle that? Do you even have a balance? Now I'm concerned. I need to check.
So when you're working in government, especially where I was working at, a lot of my colleagues were burnt out. Like, a lot of the times you're just working for the weekend. And the weekend comes every 14 days, not every 5 days for us. And then oftentimes, like, you get people like that are just working for leave. You're just basically working, you're just counting down the days until you're on leave, because it's basically like a non-stop grind. Like, you'd basically start, sometimes you get some people where they'd work 21 days in a row. They'll work 3 weekends in a row. So you'll basically work, like when I was in internship, I worked literally 21 days in a row. I was at work or post call for 21 days. That's how it is sometimes.
So when you get home, you literally don't want to speak to anybody. You just want to collapse in your bed.
So, okay, I'll give you an example. So remember I was talking about the 7:30 calls. So if it was a weekday, our post call would be at 1. So we'd be relieved the next day at 1. So basically you'd be up for like 34 hours. You barely ate. Like, sometimes I literally come back home. I'd have a bath. I'd just like take a handful of nuts.
Oh my word.
Put it in my mouth, right? Brush my teeth and go to bed. And then I'd wake up at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon for Salah. I'd wake up groggy, like I'd be drunk, like I don't know where I am. And then you'd basically like you basically like you can't function for the rest of the day because you're so sleep deprived. And then in sometimes like in 2023 during Christmas, I was doing back to back calls. So basically on a Friday night, I'd start from 8 in the evening, or I'd start from 7:30 in the morning until 8 o'clock the next day. Then I'd go be post call. I'd come back that same Saturday night. So basically 12 hours later, I'd start again, 8 o'clock in the evening to 8 o'clock the next morning. And then I'd come back that Sunday night, basically for another call. So I'd be basically working 3 nights in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, you can be, identified as a robot. Wow. Because, that is. But this is the reason why we have this show, to bring you information that you cannot find on Google, because Google will not be this transparent, will not tell you the behind the scene, the kind of mental resilience that you will need to be into this kind of field. Now, Doc, as much as I would love to, know more about your journey, I would like us to dive into the topic for the day: cosmetic surgery. It's a booming industry. It is something that everybody's going crazy. Say, for example, South Korea. I mean, yes, South Korea, not North.
Yeah.
We have to double check every time we say Korea. Which one are you talking to? So with South Korea, known as the surgical capital of the world, where 1 in 5 Korean women has done surgery. How do we see South Africa, catching up to that trend? Or maybe I'm trying to compose this question, but at the same time, I don't want to put you on the spot, because I feel very sorry for you and your hectic work schedule.
It's fine. You can put me on the spot. I like being on the spot. I don't like having a prepared script. I like being like on the spot, and that's how you can find authenticity.
Awesome stuff. So now I want to ask you, how have you noticed any cultural or any shifts towards the attitude of cosmetic surgery? How are people embracing it? How are people accepting it? How are people frowning upon it, based on your experience as a doctor?
So in my practice, right, I've noticed that a lot of like the elderly people surprisingly have actually asked about some of the procedures I do, like microneedling, Botox fillers, things like that. But it wouldn't be something that you'd actually think about. You know that. Like I had a lady that was like a niqabi that came, and they were asking me about under eyes. And then they were asking me about like, okay, I have bags under my eyes and, I want to cure it. So then I was telling us, listen, the only way you can really cure it is doing something where you remove the fat, called a bilateral blepharoplasty. And then she asked me like, okay, how exactly do I go about doing that? And then now you wouldn't think that, listen, from like a superficial level, someone who's a niqabi who would really be like interested in those things. But I think that the area of cosmetics, it's not really something that I particularly advocate for, because I feel as though everybody should be comfortable the way they are, and aging is a natural part of life. You've been blessed with many years, and you should show it. But there's nothing wrong with trying to take care of your skin, trying to make yourself look better, but do it responsibly. Don't be a freak and now get like huge cheeks and like dark lips and things like that there. So do it responsibly.
Listen, we're trying to catch up with trends here, okay? I think, now this is based on my opinion, I could be wrong, but I feel like media plays a very social media now plays a very big role in the influence of catching up to these trends, or wanting to be this ridiculous or freak, like you said, kind of looks. Because honestly speaking, the beauty standards is insane, is absolutely insane. I mean, people feel so outdated being normal, being human. So in your experience, if somebody comes up to you, a patient comes up to you and says, Doc, I want these cat eyes and I want these bat lips, or whatever lips they call it, do you say it to them, I think this is unrealistic, or is it not in your place? Like, how do you tell that person these are unrealistic expectations?
So for me, I'll tell them straight up, let's be real. Let's be real. Like, you got to understand, like, every heritage, every culture has their own beauty. And I feel as though, like, especially with social media, they're trying to push Eurocentric beauty. So, like, even if you look at, like, the non-surgical rhinoplasties or rhinoplasties like that, everybody's talking about the slimmer nose, the upside tip, the upturned tip. And if you look at, like, let's say African nose, that's more bulbous, that's more wide. So everybody needs to embrace the beauty within their heritage, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created many different tribes. And you can't say that, listen, everybody shouldn't just ascribe to one sense of beauty, because there's beauty within everything. Of course, there's objective things behind beauty, like you get with females. What makes females beautiful? Basically upturned eyes. You have high arched, eyebrows. Smooth skin. Lack of wrinkles. Youth. Youth makes woman beauty. That's how evolution works. So there's objective stuff, but there's also subjective forms of beauty as well. But there's also within every tribe, within every heritage, within every ethnicity, and within changing times, there's also different standards of beauty. So if you go back, like, let's say 40 years back, the femininity and beauty standards would be much different than how it is now. And the sad reality why everybody is getting a Eurocentric form of beauty is because of social media, because of what we are consuming.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you support your patients? Okay, I wouldn't ask you this, but how do doctors in general support patients who are dissatisfied with the outcome of their surgery, the cosmetic surgery?
That's a difficult question to answer, because of course everybody comes in with their own expectations. Now, if somebody has like very bad acne scarring, and let's say they're going through microneedling, or they're going through a PRP injection and things like that, I think the most important thing is to counsel them beforehand as to adjust the expectations. Like, you going through one microneedling session, it's not going to now remove all your scarring. It's not going to fix your skin, change 100%. Your appearance and make, give you like Korean glass skin or something. The main thing is, like, I feel as though as practitioners in anything, or as anyone in service delivery, it's to basically have proper counseling and, tell patients or tell people beforehand, listen, this will help you. This procedure will help you in like making you look better or make you feel better, or this medication will, give you more energy and things like that, or this drip will give you more energy and things like that. But it's about proper counseling beforehand, so that people can adjust their expectations into the reality of what to expect.
Absolutely. Now, Doc, for somebody who is listening right now, especially the youth, because this show is dedicated to the youth, what advice do you have for them? I would love for us to continue with all the questions that we have, but I see that time is not on our side. What advice do you have for them?
In terms of career, or
in terms of career, in terms of life, what advice do you have?
I would say, listen, follow your passion. Do something where there is a financial benefit behind it. Don't do something where it's a dead end. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your parents' money. You're wasting your money as well. So make sure you have a passion for something. Do something where there is a lucrative side behind it. And we live in a capitalistic society. There's only 2 skills you need to know. You don't need to worry about going to school. You don't need to worry about anything. There's only 2 things you need to know about in our capitalistic society. It's marketing and sales. If you can become an expert in those 2 things, you can make money, you can be satisfied, you can do everything. Marketing and sales. Those are the only 2 skills that you need in life.
Brilliant advice there coming from the Dr. Yasser SACOOR. Now, for those that are listening, wondering where can they find you? Where are you based? What are your contact details? Can you share that with us?
So I do run so actually I'm a doctor, yeah.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
You need to be careful, you in this society, especially if you heard something called, you get like a lot of bogus doctors in South Africa. I don't know whether you saw like things on the news and things like that. So you actually need to be wary, and you need to actually verify your medical practitioner before, you get those things in the Gazette where it says like Mama Shange and, like whatever. But anyway, that's deviating from the point. So I am a doctor. Yes, you can find me in Musgrave, 90 Kawi Road. So it's probably Mkhize Road. It's opposite Checkers Kawi Park. It's basically opposite the new Astron Energy. It's down the road from Strangers Cafe and Smoking Joe's. So I'm open every day from 9 to 6. And I'm a general practitioner, but I like to focus on skin and aesthetic procedures and things like that. So if you have anything, you're welcome to, speak to me. You can message me on 083-656-9194, or even come down. And if you are happy with your provider, stay with your provider. If you want to ask me something, I'm more than willing to help, and inshallah, I look forward to seeing you guys.
Awesome stuff. Dr. Yasser, we definitely hope to be hearing from you more often here on the show.
Jazakallah for the time, Kelly.
I didn't even my question was, we hope to be seeing you here more often on the
Okay. Sorry.
Yes, no?
Yeah. I do look forward to being back.
No, it's fine. I understand. Doctors are exhausted. We excuse you for that. But thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. A brilliant young man who is available to assist you with all your questions concerning cosmetics, concerning surgery, concerning medicine. Do give him a visit at 90 Kawi Road. And also, do take it easy on yourself, like you heard him say. Beauty standards based on each culture, on each race, on each ethnicity is something to embrace and not be ashamed of. Okay. So if you're a cosmetic lover, cosmetic surgery lover, and you want to go into this, I wanted to dive into more details about this topic. Maybe hopefully next time we'll do that. For now, I want to say to you, Jazakallah so much for tuning in. We'll do it again next week, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Thank you, Asif. Thank you, Dr. Yasir. Thank you, those that are listening and watching to us live on Facebook. To everybody, Jazakallah khair. I shall love and leave you by saying to you, find your purpose and leave your mark. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Radio Al Ansar, 24/7, 365.
An informative Islamic global perspective. This is Al Ansar News.
Making news at 10, the eThekwini municipality has pulled the handbrake on taking over the iconic West Point Lodge building in Durban. The eThekwini municipality has pulled the handbrake on taking over the iconic West Point Lodge building in Durban that is currently occupied by squatters and owned by the KZN Department of Public Work. On Wednesday, the eThekwini municipality sent out a detailed statement inviting the media to a joint handover event of the hijacked West Point Lodge building between KwaZulu-Natal Public Works and the Infrastructure MEC Martin Meyer and the Mayor of the eThekwini municipality, Cyril Xaba. The municipality's communication unit had